Hello everyone and welcome back to our amazing channel, Our Awakening Minds UG, the show where big ideas meet real life hustles. And today we are going to be deep diving into the steps of starting up a business. We are going to be sketching your first business plan, whether you were writing it on a napkin, whether you're doing it on a book, wherever. Today we are going to be going through the steps because someone had addressed to me and they were like, can you please give us a more clear, well stated plan of how we can set up businesses, because you've been talking about it, but we need a better clear, like a better illustration of how one can set up a business. And that is why I'm here, and I'm also going to be giving you examples of these businesses that we can start up, those with low and medium profits or income, that can help us to set up a business. What you're gaining, how are you gaining, how are you handling? We are going to be going all through these tips together. So please grab a pen and grab your coffee, and you come with us through this journey as we illustrate and enlighten those key points and key components of how you can set up your own business. So today I have a slide I'm going to be sharing with you, and this slide is going, let me hope that it will make a clear yet a well illustrated picture of why we need to set up businesses, how can we set up businesses, and which businesses we can start. So, the power of starting up a business. First steps towards self employment. When we say self employment, what do we really mean? The fact that you can become your own boss, the fact that you can be an employee somewhere and you still own your own business, where you get to practice and see the benefits and the challenges that come with decision making. So that is what we are here to implement, and at the same time we hope that at least through this show we can impact your lives positively and create an amazing change into our lives. So let's get into it. The first question is, why should we start a business? Because one, we're talking about it, but why do we really need to set up our own businesses? And my first point is, jobs are limited. If you look into the Uganda's business population, you're going to find out that 90% plus of Uganda's businesses are micro and small medium enterprises, whereby they do not favor employment to most of the young generations who are like us. Even if you're not a young generation, but you are working from somewhere, you don't know what can happen tomorrow. Today you have the job, tomorrow you don't have the job. So what is going to happen? You still have a family to take care of. You still have bills, expenses that need your attention. So how are you going to do it? So it's really, really important to make a business plan for your future. And that is why Awakening Minds UG is here. So despite the fact that businesses are limited, these small and medium enterprises do not favor employment of so many people. You might find that the business I have, maybe I'm a supermarket owner, but I can only accommodate to employ or acquire 3 people. Now, these 3 people, they have the same skills that I have, maybe the other person has, and 20 more other people. So, what does that mean? The best way to stand a chance into the business empire, or to have something into your name, is by starting up your own business. And number two, control your income. When you're a business owner, you get to know where you spend, because when you're working under someone or you're working for someone, if you have made 50% profits, just know that you're going to be gaining either 3 or 5% of those profits. You cannot acquire the biggest percentage of the profits. Why? You're putting in all the work, but the business is not yours. And that is why it's important. It's even going to help you to know how to manage your income, how you plan for your income, the challenges and decisions that come with income, because we all know we can afford to get money somewhere, but how do you handle that income that you've got? And the fact that you're having a business, you're training yourself with financial literacy, actually financial literacy, and the competence and the skills to know how to hold and handle money. And number three, build something lasting. The reason as to why you should start your own business, because you're building something lasting. Do you know that when you have something that really belongs to you and it is targeting your passion or your love towards something, then it becomes long lasting because you keep on finding means and ways to sustain it. For example, let me give you an example of a phone. When you purchase a phone, it does not come with a screen guard, it does not come with a cover, but just because you want to protect it, especially some of us who are parents, you have kids, you still need this device to help you with communications and so on, then you're going to start seeing ways, you're going to start developing ways of how you can keep it and sustain it at the same time when it's in use. So it's the same thing with a business. And number four, Uganda's economy needs it. We are all looking at the fact that we can be employed by someone, but just because it is a mindset that we've been having for quite a long time. But the fact that the country needs to develop, we need to be part of that development. And the only way it can develop is by us starting up businesses. You want that road to be constructed, the government needs taxes and revenues. So the only way it's going to do that, at the end of the day, we all pay taxes and revenues in one way or another. Just because you're not a business owner yet, you have never thought about how much tax and revenue you pay when it comes to certain things. Be it the soda you buy, be it the transactions you make, we pay taxes through all this. But we need to help boost the country's economy. And the only way we can do that is by starting up our own businesses. And yes, it can be tough, but it needs us to pursue something that does not only benefit us as individuals and the family we have, but also the country's economy as well. Advantages. Let us deep dive into the advantages of being self employed. One, it's going to give you independence. Guys, being independent is something that really is essential. Everybody needs to have this independence in their lives. Be your own boss and make your own decisions about the business runs. If you're independent, let us say, for example, you're running your own food stall, you get to create the menu, you get to remove the items you see they don't work or they do not meet your customer preferences. You get to add on something new which you believe could be impactful in the community. You get to create something of your own dish, create your own new recipe that you could add to the menu. You get to make all these decisions independently without having to first consult someone, whether you should change the menu or not. For example, I want to add cocktails to the menu, but I know sodas don't work, especially in the place I set this business from. It might be a place, for example, it mostly accommodates elderlies, and elderlies have diabetes, blood pressure, so on and so forth. So soda is not the best drink for them to have. So it's there, but it's not really working effectively as it should. What should I do? Maybe I should add on cocktails. I make juice smoothies, I blend juices, and then I add them together. Maybe I can make a combination of mango with watermelon or mango with passion. I make up these cocktails. So I believe it will help the business grow and at the same time help meet my customer preferences. So it gives you the power and the ability to make decisions without having to consult anyone. Um, the advantage of starting up your own business is flexible schedule. Some of us are not really um, time dependent, or we are not that flexible. Some of you are not even morning people. Some of you like to club the whole night. In the morning, you're sleeping till noon, so on and so forth. There is no anyone, there's nobody who is going to hire you, who is going to give you their business, and then you show up at noon. You open up the business at noon. Like how? But if you create your own business and you're starting slowly, you're training yourself into being time, maybe being a time manager. You're training yourself to really keep time. And how do you do that? It's something that starts gradually. You don't just bump into it. You be like, oh my god, I've got a job now. Starting from tomorrow, I'm going to be a morning person. I'm supposed to wake up at 4, shower, and I'm supposed to reach at the job at maybe 12. You cannot do that. You can't at maybe 6 or 12. You can't keep doing that because you've not been practicing it. But with your own business, you're going to start getting it into it gradually. You're training your brain. that now we are going to start waking up early. Why? Because we are targeting customers, we are targeting the profits, we are targeting for these people to actually know that our business is running and it exists at maybe so and so street. So the moment you start waking up late, opening the shop, maybe let us say you're renting somewhere, you open up a shop at 10 or in the noon, you're going to see that the morning customers, you made a loss with the morning customers. So you're going to start training yourself. The one who was opening up at noon, then you open up at 10. Before 10, maybe at 8, till you gradually start training your brain and also adjusting your schedule so that you have enough sleep to start the next day, to run the programs for the next day. So the other advantage is unlimited earning potential. Your earning potential is limitless. The moment you start up your own business, you start even coming up with weird ideas of how you can promote and market your business. For example, let us say maybe I'm selling drinks, but I can say if you're taking like maybe 4 glasses, I give you a complimentary snack that comes along with the drinks, which is for free, like when I'm trying to promote the business. Or you can start up games, fun games for adults. You make up puzzles, you make up anything that is going to help boost that business and attract customers, giving people more awareness about your business. And the more that you have that visibility, you're adding value to your business. And the more you add value to your business, the more profits you can make. So the unlimited earning potential is limitless when you have your own business, because now you are the ones making all the decisions. You are the one knowing how you want it to flow, whom do you want it to benefit, whom do you want it to serve, how do you want to grow it, how many branches do you have in the future, so on and so forth. It's all up to you and your creativity. So you create jobs for others. Some of you are still studying. Some of you are employed somewhere and you still want to maintain that job where you are employed, but you have something of your own. So you're creating job opportunities for somebody else. It might be your own child, whereby you're going to be helping them run their own family business, or you're going to be hiring a relative or a friend or somebody other than yourself. So, yes, you're creating employment opportunities for somebody else. The same way you're seeking employment, there is someone else seeking employment. So if we can help each other hand in hand, you do this, you do that, help me with this, help me with that. Because a business, yes, you can be the boss, you can be the owner, but it can never be managed and ran by one person. We need help from each other. You need the help of the customers, those who are coming to purchase your product. You need the help of someone who is helping you run it, manage it, audit it, anything, promotion, social media content, because that is the way to go these days. If you're not on social media and you don't know how to use social media to boost your business, then I don't know how you're going to get that visibility. You might be able to attract customers within that region you started up a business, but you need social media. So it creates jobs for people with skills, computer skills, to help you. Social media content creators help you boost that business. So you're benefiting, somebody else is benefiting, and we are all benefiting from that business. It helps with personal growth. Setting up your own business helps you grow as a person. You learn new skills in sales, finances, and leadership in the long run, because it's not something that is supposed to come, abruptly like that. Hey, I've set up my own business. Now I'm qualified with skills of finance. Now I'm qualified with skills of leadership, so on and so forth. But when you have your own business, you're going to start learning these skills gradually. Like I said, you're not a morning person, you become a morning person all of a sudden. You've been using that money maybe to eat out. You don't have a clear budget of how you spend. Now, simply because you know that you have a business and it is demanding more capital, more stock, you're going to start planning accordingly. So you're learning these skills gradually, but they are going to be helping you in the long run. Then you're going to see how you start managing up this business. Then you start to think, how do I open up another branch? Maybe I have a branch here, but I need another branch maybe in the next in the next village, or maybe the next district, or the next place, wherever you picture your business to be in the future. Then you start planning for it. It's helping you with personal growth, and it does not just help you in terms of business, but as a person, it helps you start managing your life. You start selecting what is really important to you, what benefits you, what adds value to you, and what doesn't. Then you start selecting things which help your life move forward, rather than jumping onto every bike you see, every club that you see. It's helping you grow as a person in terms of skill development and personal discipline. And there are so many advantages. We're only going to go through the six, and the last one builds long-term wealth. The moment you have your own business, you're building long-term wealth, because it's you are planning for it as a person. You are seeing yourself grow in the future. And every time you make a sale, there is a certain type of confidence that you gain. There is a certain type of pride that you feel. And you be like, oh, I managed to sell, maybe I managed to sell 5 products in a day. Maybe I managed to sell even if they're two, but at least you made a sale rather than making zero sales. It builds confidence, pride, and the fact that it gives you that yearning to keep on building more and more and more, to keep attracting more customers to come to you. So it's really, really beneficial. The advantages of self-employment, there are so many, bit by bit, but I hope we can grasp and learn something from it. As we move forward, first step. So here we're going to be going through the steps of how we can become self-employed. What do I have to do? Okay, I've understood why do I need to start? But now, what are the steps I should take as an individual who wants to start up a business? The first one, identify an idea. Everything that you see that has ever happened, that has ever been done, set it up as an idea, as a projection in someone's brain, a delusional picture in someone's brain. You'd be like, "Hmm, I think I want to build a flat. I'm seeing it looks like this. I'm going to give it this color. It's going to have these floors. It's going to have this number of windows." It set it up as an idea. It did not just come out of the blue and you be like, I'm building. No, you first thought about it, you processed it, and then you started devising up means to do it. Choosing a business based on your skills, interests, and real need in the community. So when you look into your current community, what do you see that they need? I need you to start thinking, develop the idea of the business you want to create. What does my community need? That's what, and what skills do I have? What are my interests? For example, I'm building a luxury brand, but the community I'm in, can it afford the luxury brand I want to build? Do I have customers who can purchase the product I want to build in a luxury way? If yes, then you start dividing up. Then what are their interests and what are my interests? Can we align the two together, and we see how we move hand in hand, so that I benefit from this business, but at the same time, I'm adding something to my community. Then number two, research the market. Talk to potential customers. You see those clients whom you've been like, yeah, think I can sell something that is luxurious to this client. Talk to them. Ask them their idea. What do you think about ABCD? If you were to find it here, how much will you be willing to purchase it? What do you think is the extravagant amount of this particular product? How does it benefit you? How does it add value to you? A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. So that by the time you set up that business, you have a clear vision and you have made enough research to facilitate the building and the establishment of this idea. Then, number three, write a simple plan. Just draft something on your piece of paper. Maybe you have your notebook that you move around with, you have a special diary, anywhere. Write a simple plan, how you want your packaging to be, how you want your business to look like, how you want people to perceive that business, how you want to create that visibility, how you want people to be aware of your business. Are you going to use social media? If so, which platforms are you going to be using? What can you afford at that particular moment? Are you going to be using door to door, whereby you meet someone, you be like, hi, excuse me, I'm doing ABCD and this, I'm located and so and so. please come support me. You devise a simple plan of how you want this business to move, how you want it to grow, and then we see how you're going to do it. Then, in case of those who are able to set up companies, how are you going to register this business? Because a registered business has so many limitless opportunities, grants, you have the ability to have partnerships with other companies. There are so many things that come up with a registered business. So if you know you're going to do a company or a big business and you have the capability and you can afford to do it, kindly register that business because it comes with so many opportunities, so many benefits. Then we see how to proceed forward and arrange a setup capital. Now, how do we arrange a setup capital? Either you can use your savings. Some of you have circles. Some of you have really prominent family members who can help you with this, or small loans. But mostly, I don't advise people to set up businesses with small loans, especially if you don't have the business skills, because loans have interests which grow with time. And remember, this is a starting business. You have the space and the time to make errors. They won't be intentional, but you are going to make errors. You're going to make wrong decisions, which even some of them are going to leave that business hanging in balance, either to fall or to rise. You're going to make so many business errors. You're going to face so many challenges that come with that business. Why? Because you don't have the skills to sustain that business. But in the startup phase, you are learning, you are improving, you are gradually noticing things. For example, let me give an example of those mobile money attendants. Yes, you have learned how to save money, how to withdraw money. But here, for example, here in Kampala, we have so many frauds. We have so many people who are targeting businesses, robbers, and everything. So just because you don't have the skills, someone might come and they bring up a new trick on the market. You don't know. You're going to end up losing all that capital that you have. So I do not advise you to set up a business with a loan. However, I need you to devise means of how you're going to earn. How am I going to get this capital? Let us start from the savings you have. Some of us in Uganda, we don't take savings seriously, and that's okay. But in the due course and the due time, I think this COVID episode taught us something. It showed you that if you don't have savings, you cannot survive. But some learned from it, some did not learn from it. But in the future, I'm guessing that we can start adapting to the saving part whereby you save for your future, because sometimes you don't know what can happen. Problems might occur, crises might occur, anything. You need to be planned for the worst, at least something which can back you up for the first month of the crisis as you're planning for the next. So we need to start adapting to saving, but we can use group circles. Some of you have these group circles whereby you are over 10 people, everyone is bringing 10K. If one person is getting maybe after 2 weeks or after a month, so on and so forth. We have these circles. Try entering one. But when you know that the purpose of why I'm entering this particular circle is to set up my own business, I'm looking for capital, I'm devising means to grab the capital that I can get from these circles to start up my own business, then you see how much capital do you need. If I need maybe 500,000 to start up my own capital, then that means I have to be in this circle for 5 months. These 5 months, I should be getting every time my round comes up, I keep that money, which we talked about, the saving part. I save this money and I have the principle to maintain that money and know that this money I'm saving is for this particular purpose. The moment you have that mentality into your brain, there is nothing that can make you or push you to touch that money, because you know the reason as to why you're saving that money. You know the reason as to why you're putting that particular money aside. And launch and promote. That is the last part of the steps towards self employment. You launch and promote. After my 5 months, I've got my 500 Now what am I going to do? I have to start launching and promoting my business. Sometimes it is better to even first advertise your business before literally starting it. I always tell people that it is good to start advertising your business before starting it. Tell people, hi, how are you? Don't leave someone without them actually knowing what you do. The moment you have this clear picture and this clear vision of the business you want to develop, then start advertising it within people. Start advertising it so that people get to know what you do. So that every time they are referencing maybe that particular product, your name pops up in that person's brain. They be like, oh, so and so told me they deal in laptops. Oh, so and so told me they deal in electrical gadgets. That is what we mean. You advertise. By the time you launch and promote, people have a grasp of what you do, a little idea of what you do. Then you start there and try to keep pushing forward and choosing the right business idea. Guys, I cannot emphasize on this enough. Choosing the right business idea is very, very fundamental and very, very important to us. First of all, you do not just come and you be like, oh, I think I'm in love with ICT. I'm going to set up maybe a computer place somewhere, a cafe, a computer cafe somewhere. Be like, I'm going to set up ABCD. I know I'm so in love with it. Does it really meet the skills and the experience you have? And how prepared are you with the skills that you have? We might have the skills, but are we really, really prepared with these skills? You do not just pop up from out of the blue. You be like, yeah, me, I want IABCD. That is not how things work. So choose the right business idea, skills and experience. What are you already good at, or what can you learn quickly? Sometimes we are not yet good at something, but we have the potential to learn quickly. What can you learn quickly? Yes, I'm setting up a food store. Can I learn how to cook quickly? I don't know how to cook. Can I learn how to really cook? Can I play with the spices and I cook up something good, create a new recipe that people are going to be in love with and they're going to keep yearning to have? It's very important. Which skills do I have in catering? First, when it comes to serving, how am I when it comes to customer service and care? Everything really matters, guys. Then, what is the market demand? The market demand is really important. You want something, yes, but does it really align with the market demand in that specific area where you're establishing that business? You're going to start up maybe, let us say, a food stall, but there are over 20 food stalls in that particular area. And all of those 20 food stalls, everyone is yearning. Can you please come buy from me? Can you please buy from me? What is different on this food store? These ones, they have chicken and pilau. What is different there? And some of them you're going to even end up finding out when they have even similar, exactly the same items. So it is better to understand the market demand of that particular place before you set up a business. Then what is the available capital? How much have you managed to collect? How much have you managed to save? It will really, really help you and boost your business in the long run, because if you start up with the capital you don't have, then you're going to start thinking of how am I getting enough capital. Now this is where the loans come in, which I said is not really a good idea to start a business with a loan, because the interests are high. Those people, they're not the kind of people you can explain that, you see, I'm setting up this. No, you have signed up contracts, you have mortgaged up stuff, they don't listen, and now you're risking something in the name of setting up a business which is not going to return those exact profits in the starting months or the starting year. Businesses run differently. Each has a different experience, each has a different earning and profit giving capacity. Some businesses, and especially for people who don't have business experience, some businesses you might end up spending a full year when you have never earned any profits, when you're just picking up something. Why? Because you don't know how to manage your funds. Today you made a mistake, you need to recover. You need to patch that hole of that mistake there. Today something has come up, maybe a robbery, or you need to fill that gap. So at the end of the day, you don't have enough funds, so on and so forth. So it is better to deal with one pressure at a time than combining two into together. Because if you pile up too many things, you won't be able to do anything. Then competition. What is your competition in that particular area? Because as we know, you can't be the only one with a certain business in a particular area. You cannot be the only monopolistic person in that particular area. But what is your competition? Who are the people you're going to be competing with? I'm competing with ABCD restaurant. I'm starting up my own restaurant. So what do I have to really do that is so different? Maybe I on to my food I can add on a little fruit dessert. Maybe you purchase, whoever purchases a plate of 30K, you're getting a small platter of free fruits. But I find a way of embedding these fruit costs into the pricing of the food that I'm actually giving out. Or whoever purchases a plate of 50K, it comes with a free glass of juice. You understand? So you understand your competition. What are they doing? What can I do differently that can help boost my business, that can help attract more customers? Because your competition, they're also going to be doing something, but you have to bring up or develop something that is different from your competitors in order to survive and sustain yourself in the business world. So location and access. What is your location? You cannot tell me I'm starting up maybe let us say a phone a phone store, like a phone accessory store, and then your location, you are you are maybe let us say your positions maybe in Boise, but your shop, someone has to walk, has to move through buildings to get to your store. My dear, these people who are like maybe on a rush, I'm on my border B, I'm rushing somewhere, I need earphones for that particular function I'm going to, I won't be able to see you. I won't be able to come to your store because some people really, really like accessible, quickly yet accessible businesses where they can purchase their goods. So I'm on a border B, I need someone I can call. Hi, excuse me, do you have earphones? Yes. How much? That kind of transaction in time, whereby I don't have to first get off maybe my border B to come access your business. Maybe I don't have to get out of my car to access your business because some places are not even that safe where your business is. But I really want to support you because you have that particular product that I want. So your business, the location and the accessibility are very, very important and crucial in terms of setting up your own business. So let us always keep that in mind. So what are the examples and the business ideas that we can set up here in Uganda, especially for us who are seeking to be self-employed? The first one is poultry farming. Guys, I don't know, but if you know you have a place, for example, maybe your own home, and you can build something, a small chicken coop, for example, and you start rearing these chicks, maybe layers, maybe broilers, I'm telling you, it will be very beneficial for you in the long run. And that is in the long run of between 6 to 9 months. Even when the chicks have just started, you might end up learning a contract. Because someone tell me, how many chicken stalls do you person in a day? Do you know how many chicken stores are in Kampala or along the roads of Kampala? But I'm telling you, each of them has a customer, and each of them go to the. I heard that they have a chicken butcher where you go there and then you be like, I need 20, 50 pieces of chickens. I need ABCD, all of that. So if you can set up poultry farming and you're going to be rearing broilers or maybe layers, it will be beneficial for you. But I advise, if you're going to do poultry farming, then engage with layers so that you can benefit in both ways, because they'll be able to give you the eggs and the meat at the same time. You can sell the chicks or the chickens, and then at the same time you can set up an egg selling business. Because let me tell you guys, people You cannot tell me that you as an individual watching this video, do you spend a month without eating an egg? Okay, you have spent a month without eating an egg. Can you spend three without eating an egg? Now that's how on demand these things are. Those who have chapati stores, they purchase eggs every day. Those who have chicken stores, chips and chicken stores, they purchase eggs every day. Restaurants, they purchase eggs every day and chickens. So everywhere there is demand for eggs and chicken. So it's very important to know what am I targeting. So for those who can, probably you can set up a piggery. I don't know much about piggery rearing, but I had it's beneficial. So for those who can, you can start it up as a business. Some of you have big lands in the village, you have people staying there who can help you set up these businesses. So you can consider that as well. Then there is crop farming. Guys, I don't think we need to be in such a big place to set up crop farming. Last time I was on TV and they were showing how you can actually set up crop farming from the, let me say, maybe from the compound of your home. Maybe you can start up crop farming in basins, old old jerry cans. You see these jerry cans, you see those plastic cups, plastic bottles that you keep throwing away. Yeah, try looking up tutorials of how you can do crop farming at home, especially in small and limited places, guys. You cannot fail to grow your own onions. You spend a whole year in a place and you've never grown your own tomato here in Uganda. Guys, get serious. Then we have fish farming. Now, this applies to those who have the capital. Maybe you are a bank manager somewhere, but you have your own piece of land somewhere, or you have enough capital for from whichever. Maybe family support, grants, wherever. I've sold my piece of land, I've got some extra money. You can have, or you can purchase a certain plot of land and you start fish farming. But please make research about it first because we don't want you to make losses in the businesses. And then finally, agro processing. Add value by processing products, e.g., maize, flour, dried fruits, so on and so forth. So I have seen that even Sam's has set up this business of dry dehydrated jackfruits. Guys, I think that works perfectly. If only we knew how to sustain these fruits by dehydrating them, I think that can make a really profitable business because some people like stocking up food in the house actually. You'll be like, I have my 1 million. I need to stock up food in the house. So let me go purchase things in big quantities. Now, most people really love fruits, especially for these go healthy families. You see, we have kids at home who really like eating sweets and all, and sweets are not that healthy for them. But if I could access dehydrated fruits, I would definitely stock it up in my home. Whereby every time my kid asks for a fruit, I just give it to them as a snack because it's long lasting. It is natural yet long lasting. So I think we should start researching more about dehydrating fruits and how we can grow that into a business. I've seen in Kampala there are already people doing it, but not so many. So I believe if you have the capacity to do it, please make research about it. And you never know, you might become one of the biggest dehydrated fruit supplier in Uganda, and you have created a brand for yourself like that. So more is coming. Please stay tuned for part 2. Thank you so much for following with us. I hope you've been taking the notes. And for more references, the slides are there. I hope we can refer to them and we keep pushing and seeing how we can get into self employment. Thank you so much for staying with us. Have a good day.